O Canada is our national anthem. It's the song that's probably the most familiar song in Canada, I think, probably. And we know almost nothing about it. There's so many secrets in this little tune. And here's secret number one. I'll start by playing it, okay? So that's the beginning of O Canada, you think. But actually, that's not the beginning of O Canada at all. That's the beginning of the second act of Mozart's Magic Flute, the March of the Priests. So the first question is, did Calix-Lavallee, the guy who wrote O Canada, steal O Canada from Mozart? Many people think he did. The opening, here's O Canada, different key, but it's exactly the same, right? So it's very possible that in the same way that George Harrison channeled He's So Fine to Write My Sweet Lord and copied it note for note and wasn't aware he was doing it, it's possible that Calix-Lavallee did the same thing with O Canada. No one knows for sure. So that's the first thing, is it's probably plagiarized. The second thing, of course, is that I've got the score here, the actual score. And if you look, I don't know if you can see this in the camera, it says Chant National, right? So, and if you look carefully, there are no English words to O Canada, only French words. And the reason for that is, I'll take it back, is that O Canada was commissioned by and written for the Quebec Independence Society, the Saint-Jean-Baptiste Society. It was written in 1880 for an enormous gathering of 40,000 French Canadians from all over North America, from Vermont, from Massachusetts, from Quebec. And there was going to be a competition for a Quebec national anthem, a French-Canadian chant national, as it's called. And Calix-Lavallee basically won the competition. So the thing about O Canada that we don't realize is that it wasn't written originally for the whole country at all. It was just written for Quebec. And that's why the words, the French words to O Canada, which few people know, outside of Quebec, are really quite remarkable, right? So it's O Canada, as we think, and then Terre de nos aïeux, a home of our ancestors, right? And then ton front est saint, your brow is garlanded with glorious flowers, like a Greek god. And then what's the other thing that's interesting about O Canada is, again, I'm reading from the original sheet music, this middle part. Da, 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 da. Here's the way Calix-Lavallee actually wrote it, right? It's got this martial sound in the bass. It's like a drum. That never stops, right? Nobody arranges it that way. If you listen to arrangements of O Canada today, they start out very grand, right? And when they get to this part, they soften it. And it's supposed to be exactly the other way around. It's supposed to be harden it. Never stops. It's like a drum, right? And so, of course, the man who wrote the words, the music came first, picked up on that. And so the French words that go with that part is, car ton bras sait porter l'épée, because your arm knows how to carry the sword, it knows how to carry the cross. That's what the French words of O Canada say. So, car ton bras sait porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. It's unbelievably Catholic and unbelievably militant, And then your history is an epopea, your history is an epic of the greatest exploits, des plus grands exploits. And then it comes back, of course, to this thing. And what's interesting about the music is the first time we hear that, it's like the Mozart, it's like a hymn. It's soft, right? O Canada. But after this part, It's really loud and really martial, etc. And the words there is et ta valeur, and your valor, deux fois trempé, steeped in faith, protégera nos foyers et nos droits, will protect our homes and our rights. That's what the original French says. It's a very, very in-your-face political document, right? O Canada, home of our ancestors, your brow is garlanded with great flowers. Because your arm knows how to carry the sword, it can carry the cross. Your story is an epic of the greatest exploits, and your valor, steeped in faith, will protect our homes and protect our rights. So that's what O Canada originally was. And so the question is, how in the world did that ever become the anthem of all of us, since it's so rooted in Quebec history? And there's a long story about how we got the English words to O Canada, because we had many, many different versions. The first thing they tried to do was just translate the French lyrics, and that didn't work very well, because English Canada didn't want to sing about the cross too much. Then Collier's Magazine, which was like Life magazine, had a contest. Canada-wide contest, 350 entries. A woman from BC won. Terrible lyrics. And finally, a guy named Robert Stanley Weir wrote the version we now sing, the O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command, which we're still arguing about, because Robert Stanley did not write true patriot love in all thy sons command. He wrote true patriot love thou dost in us command. And we've been arguing about the words to O Canada basically since 1916. And we're still arguing about the words to O Canada. There's a bill before Parliament right this moment in the Senate to change in all thy sons command to in all of us command. And we're a week before Canada Day 2017. We still haven't made that change. So there's a lot. O Canada is a lot richer than we think. It's a really fascinating piece of music.